Yeah, everybody's dumping Freedom 250. But there is a bigger story that no one's talking about. And yeah, it has to do with companies buying their access and their approvals from Donald Trump. Yeah, it's those stories that we follow on Mayday in America podcast, and we have it exclusively for you here today. So, you heard, I'm sure, all these acts from the 80s and the 90s. They're dropping out of the Trump self-dealing money-making scheme called Freedom 250. It sounds like a lot of them thought Freedom 250 was America 250, which is the official one Congress set up to celebrate America's 250th birthday, right? But these guys didn't know that they were lining Trump's pockets, or they didn't care. I mean, maybe it was like they're getting paid for the first time in decades, so we'll never know. But so many have dropped out that Trump wants to cancel everything. He just wants it to be his own all-American state fair, or whatever the hell they're calling it. Now Trump, of course, he picked the Freedom 250 name specifically to confuse people into thinking that it was part of the bigger celebration, but it's not. It's just a money maker for MAGA, and it has no clear designation about where that money's going. Officially, the money's going to pay for Freedom 250. That's like the Girl Scouts opening a lemonade stand and saying that they're raising money for their lemonade stand. But here's the catch. Congress is funding Freedom 250, the GOP-led Congress. They're funding Freedom 250 the same amount as the official actual celebration, America 250. And if you're confused, that makes Trump really, really happy. Now, so far, both groups, the official one and Trump's group, they've both gotten about $25 million in federal funds. There are reports that Freedom 250 is going to get up to $100 million. For what? Well, maybe it's to build that giant Thunderdome in front of the White House. No, actually, the UFC is paying for that. Now, that's a special free advertising gift that Trump has given his buddy Dana White. White House lawn. Not bad. Location, location, location. Now, you might be thinking that White's wife isn't she in the cabinet? Nope. That's Vince McMahon's wife. They're both the founders of the WWE. You know, she ran the fake fights for a living before she became education secretary. And as a side note, Vince has been busy. Yeah, no, he had that whole sexual misconduct allegation and hush money scandal. That sounds familiar. About 2 years ago, investigators added sex trafficking to his list of allegations. So yeah, our education secretary is married to an alleged sex trafficker. I can't make this up. Now, as far as I know, Dana White, the UFC guy, he's not accused of sex trafficking, but he is doing his best to get traffic moving to his not at all sold out event, because no one wants to go. White says he's going to give away viewing tickets on the mall to anyone who shows up. And Pete Hegseth, he says the military's invited on their own dime, and they can come watch the fight so long as they are not fatties. Yeah, no, that's not a joke. I wish I could write that good, but that's actually real. But if you want to go, and you really, really want to go, maybe you're a fatty. I don't know. If you want to go, there's good news. If you give Trump at least $1.5 million, you get to rub shoulders with him at the special VIP section. And where that money goes is anyone's guess. We're guessing it's not going toward building lemonade stands. Because in addition to the $100 million in taxpayer money that's going to pay for, gosh, I wish I had my notes here, Vanilla Ice and Milli Vanilli, both of them. At least the guy that's still alive, right? The Milli Vanilli guy. I think the backup singers, they just said no, right? So it's actually just that one guy, Fab. Well, it's going to be a great concert. But in addition to the $100 million in public money corporations are jumping in, the Freedom 250 materials say sponsors get access to the president. Yeah, I mean, actually, they spell it out. They're that transparent. So who's paying for this access to the president? Who wants to put their names on that Freedom 250 banner, the $20 one from Party City? We're going to save the best for last. We're going to start with Deloitte. There's no Tooch anymore, by the way. Used to be a Tooch. Deloitte has $100 million in contracts with ICE and DHS. So they're getting Tooched. How about SAP? Now, Freedom 250 is an American event, right? They say no foreign money has been taken unless you count up to about $10 million from SAP, which is a German company. They're under investigation by the DOJ for price fixing on U.S. military contracts. And they're German. So they could lose all of those contracts for price fixing. And they already need a special waiver, because they're German. Did I mention that they just got nailed for bribery? And that they were forced to pay close to $250 million by the DOJ under Biden? And they're being investigated for price fixing, started under Biden. But now all of this chaos is firmly in Trump's hands. $10 million. I wonder how that DOJ investigation is going to turn out. Here's another Freedom 250 sponsor, United Health Group. That's the insurance company. They had their CEO assassinated a little while ago. They're under investigation by the DOJ, antitrust. All of that was started under Biden, and all of that could dismantle everything. Biden also blocked their big merger with Amedisys. You know what's weird? Trump decided to let that merger go through. I wonder how that DOJ thing's going to turn out now. $10 million. ExxonMobil, they're a sponsor of Trump's Freedom 250. Here's a fun story. Okay, fun story. Back in January, after we invaded Venezuela, Jesus, it seems like ancient news. After that happened, Trump met with Exxon CEO to strong-arm him into investing like $100 billion into Venezuela. See, Trump wanted to justify us doing what we did. He wrote the check and he wanted Exxon to cash it. But Darren Woods said no. He said there's no way he can invest in Venezuela after what we did. And that made Orange Man really, really grumpy. Orange Man said, Exxon isn't going to get any of the Venezuela deals, so there. Unless Exxon gives him $10 million on his birthday. We'll see. MasterCard, their sponsor, they make tens of billions of dollars off interchange fees. That's the money that small businesses, notably not billionaires, that they pay to accept credit cards, right? Congress says these fees are outrageous, that they're monopolistic. The DOJ, man, they just keep popping up. The DOJ is looking into antitrust issues there. I wonder if small business owners have $10 million to sit with the president. But here, folks, here's the best. These guys, this is so good. These guys could be the next targets of May Day in America. They're strong front runners. Our last campaign, by the way, has millions of people dropping Paramount Plus, sticking it to the Ellisons. That was us. So listen up, United. United Airlines was not initially a sponsor for Freedom 250, but then Reuters, they came out with this news that the United CEO had gone to Trump seeking Trump's blessing on I wouldn't even call it like a mega merger. It was bigger than that. It was like a catastrophic, apocalyptic merger with American Airlines. United and American are like numbers 2 and 3 behind Delta. Their merger would dwarf Delta and would give us 2 major carriers. And you think that carry-on fees are bad now. Well, Trump, he's not going to give up anything for free. So eventually he just said no. I mean, what's in it for him, right? So just as this reporting's coming out, within the last month, United says it's going to be thrilled to be a sponsor of Trump's 2025, Freedom 250 pay-to-play scheme. Okay, folks, I'm going to be honest. There's almost no way that this deal is ever going to go through. But I could have said the same for the Ellison's media mergers. I mean, that guy's going to soon control CNN, HBO, Paramount, CBS, TikTok, and critically, Nickelodeon. All of those sailed through with 50% foreign money involved, which is like twice as much as allowed by law. But, hang in there, United. Believe in the dream. We'll all fly the friendly skies. Here's our pledge from Mayday in America. Remember, we're the group responsible for tens of millions of dollars in cancellations of Paramount Plus. United, if you pursue this merger, we will fight you. We will devalue United and American so badly that Spirit Airlines is going to look like a bargain. You got our word on that. And we're sorry about your $10 million admission fee. It's probably not recoverable. But maybe you can get good seats at the Octagon. And before we go, before we're going to wrap this podcast up, a quick word about Paramount Plus. If you still have it, cancel it. And you're going to have to look at the other podcasts, the other episodes for that story. But there is good news, okay? California's Attorney General, that's where Paramount's based. California's Attorney General is fixing to file an antitrust challenge to stop the merger with Warner Brothers. Now, our hope is that other states' attorneys general will join California's lead and fight as one. So if you care, call or email your state attorney general. Ask them specifically to stop the Paramount-Warner merger. Soon on our site, madeinamerica.org, we're going to have details on how to activate your attorney generals for action. Because we believe we can still stop this. In the meantime, we're to keep an eye on United. And for now, stay tuned.